allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Guns, self-defense, concealed carry. This is the Patriot Defense Podcast. From the war room in Idaho's high desert, here's your host, Todd Echols.
And I am back. It is a Thursday morning, and I am tucked away in the war room somewhere in the high desert of southern Idaho. And it is windy out today. I always give you guys the weather report. I have no idea, except for I'm staring at this window. I can see out that window. I can hear the wind roaring. I should have went and gone running this morning, but when I woke up, it was doing this snowy / rain type of situation. And I just didn't feel like dealing with it. And honestly, right now, I'm kind of seem like I'm distracted because I am, but I have, I've got an alert. This is an alert. Now take this for what it's worth. I have had a friend of mine actually, this is live, right? This is right as I'm doing this podcast. I had a friend of mine text me, and he has his FFL. He actually, I've had him on the show. He actually owns Ballistic Edge Firearms, and he is giving me the heads up that he's like, take it for what it's worth. Right now, Thursday morning, 8:49, he checked. He got a notification from one of his suppliers that 9mm ammo was going up 4 cents a round. That is 4 cents a round. Now, not trying to cause an ammo panic, and it doesn't seem like much in the overall picture of things. But if you need to purchase ammunition to train with, to go and take classes with, I would encourage you to go out and do it now. Just like he says he fears, and I could see it happening because of this wonderful war that we are in, thanks to your president. I didn't vote for the guy. I could almost see possibly ammo prices going up like they did during COVID. It doesn't take much for ammo prices to increase, and when they increase, it to actually cause a panic, which will then drive ammunition into scarcity and drive the prices up on the remaining ammo that you can get your hands on. So take that for what it's worth. But if you need to buy ammo, I would possibly look into getting some soon. So there you go. That's something to consider, something to think about. That's just what he says. He thinks it's going to continue to go up, and it could be. So that's something to watch. Whenever big things happen in the world, sometimes that affects those ammo prices and then the gun prices, and the panic begins. So just what we need. So just as I'm getting ready to release my whole list, not my whole list, but a good portion of my classes for the summer, I'm getting ready to post them up on social media today, which we will talk about shortly. The ammo prices are going to increase. That is wonderful for my business. And they say that he's been the best president when it comes to the Second Amendment. I don't think so. But what has Todd been doing over here at Patriot Defense lately? I've been doing as many classes as I possibly can. The weather has been pretty good for that. I've had permit classes. I've gone off without a hitch. No problem. I'm back onto my regular permit class schedule where we do the shooting portion in the afternoon and the classroom portion in the morning. And I mentioned it before on a last podcast. Where's this at? And I've got the actual bill number in the state of Idaho right now. There are, where is this at? There are two bills, a couple bills in play as far as relating to the Second Amendment. I've talked to you about carrying firearms in the state. Sorry, I'm trying to fiddle-faddle with my phone here to find my notes. And the one that they all interest me. If they're good bills, they all interest me. But the one that I am really excited about is H 573. And what this would do is this would take it right now. I have to have, you guys have heard me talk about this numerous times. It's been a pet peeve of mine. Right now, to do the permit classes, the enhanced permit classes, I have to have a Idaho certified law enforcement officer of intermediate post certification or higher teach the law portion of it. Well, that cuts into me making money. That cuts into me controlling my own business. The way it's set up, if you want to hear my full rant and go back a few episodes, I'm sure you can find it. It sets it up to where a law enforcement officer can actually do this business on the side and can actually undercut me. It's like my tax dollars are paying him to then come in and compete against me business-wise. And I don't like that. And I want the freedom to be able to teach a class when I want, without having to schedule someone to come teach it. Well, that is what this bill does. It is going to allow for someone, an NRA instructor or some other governing body like the USCCA certified instructor who has been teaching the Idaho Enhanced Concealed Carry Permit class for at least 8 years or more to then have the freedom to be able to sign off on and teach the law enforcement portion of the permit class, which for me, that would be absolutely phenomenal. I don't know this 100%, but I'm about 98, 99% sure. Well, I do know that I'm the longest running firearms instructor in the Magic Valley, and that would actually allow me to take control of my classes. Offer them at different times, offer them more often. I've got a free day and I've got 3 people, and I still try to funnel everyone to my main once a month permit classes. But if I got like 3 people that say, hey, me and my buddies, we all work the same job and we work on the weekends, can you do this permit class on a Friday? Can you do it on a Thursday? If I've got the time, I can go ahead and do that class for them. And so I can break it apart and do how I want to do it and sign off of it and off on it and be legal. And I am looking forward to the ability to be able to do that. So far, this House bill has passed the House, and it is waiting to be seen and voted on by the Senate and then signed into law. Hopefully, I don't know why this wouldn't go through. Let me see if I can find the actual numbers here. See if I saved my search, because I was looking it up last night. And, right here. Perfect. So it says this bill amends section 18-3302K of the Idaho Code regarding the issuance of enhanced licenses to carry concealed weapons. It allows certain individuals to provide instruction on Idaho law related to firearms and use of deadly force, specifically expanding the list of qualified instructors to include certified instructors from the National Rifle Association or equivalent organizations with at least 8 years of experience in teaching approved courses for enhanced concealed carry. So this bill makes a technical correction by changing the wording from either to any in the context of who can provide legal instruction for the qualifying handgun course. Let's see. Additionally, the bill outlines the application process. Okay, we don't need to read that. But I was looking here, and it's got a timeline here, and it looks like it passed the actual House. Let's see. It passed the House on February 13th. I don't know how any of this works. And it passed in flying colors. 68 ayes, 68 yeses that passed it. So it's not being highly contested. It says on February 16th, it was received from the House, passed, filed for first reading, introduced, read first time, referred to state affairs. So I'm not sure what that means. But I know it passed the House, so I'm really hoping it will become a law, and I will be able to do that. That is the one bill in this state that I have been wanting the one thing I've been wanting to happen for years and years and years now. So that would be big for me. Maybe no one else may care about this, but I care. And so I'm going to try to, keep an eye on this. So what else have we been doing here? Well, I have bought a moving target system for my range. Now, I have a very small range, and I bought this target, and I've talked about it before probably, but it involves this carriage made up of pulleys with a deal that you can hang a target on, and it runs on cables that you stretch out and pull tight, and you can take it on and off the cables relatively easily. And it has a remote. I can program it, make it move left, right, so many feet at a time. I can program it to do a little program thing, save it, hit the button, and it'll replay that entire program. So I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully I can get it figured out. As of right now, I tried to cheap out a little bit. The whole system wasn't that inexpensive. It cost a little bit of money, and I have to obviously run these cables, and so I've tried to run it off T-posts. The T-post I did, not working real well. They're wanting to fold in half because I got to have a lot of tension on this cable because the carriage weighs a little bit, right? There's a battery and stuff in there, and it wants to pull down on said cables. And so I went and bought some posts and some post-mixed concrete stuff, and I have since buried some posts. I'm letting them cure out, and I'll see if I can get this thing set up. My goal would be to have the cable. I can't leave the unit itself out there. It's not going to be super rain resistant and stuff. But my hope is to get it all figured out and have the cables like almost permanently installed, right? So I want to be able to run it a couple different directions, some angles, have it coming at you instead of running left to right. So I'm trying to figure that out as I go. And like I said, hopefully I get some cables permanently attached and anchored, so I don't have to deal with the cables anymore, and I just got to hang the carriage up on these cables whenever I want to use said moving target. So that's the goal. That's kind of what I'm doing. It's, I bought this thing. It works, but it's pretty, I won't say it's rough, but it works. But you get the unit, the remote, spare parts, that kind of stuff, and some instructions, and then you have to set up the infrastructure. So that's what I am doing, is I'm setting up that infrastructure right now. So if you show up to the range and you see some funny looking 4x4 posts that are 12 foot long and are sticking straight up out of the ground, that's what that is all about. It's a learning process. It's a testing process. Give me a few more weeks, and hopefully I got this thing rolling, and we can get up, and some people will be able to make, some students will be able to make good use of this thing. So I'm kind of looking forward to using that. Now, what else do we got going on here? I have had a group of students, a group of gentlemen who have actually invited my son to join them, which is kind of cool. Get out and do they've allowed my son to join them. But they have signed up, and they just took their first class. A bunch of classes that build on top of each other, like fundamentals type style classes. So we went through that, and they came out on Sunday. We did the first class, and they fired probably just under, we'll say 300 to 400 rounds. And we focused on that trigger press. We focused on that reset. We focused on all that stuff. They'll be back in about 6 weeks for another one. And we're just going to I think I'm going to keep it going with them as long as they want to attend, and as long as they want to take classes. I'll keep it going through most of the summer. So I get really excited about classes like that, because I'll do the one-off classes. Like, I have zero problem doing the one-off classes, but it's really nice to see people. Now, these are most of these guys are seasoned shooters. Like, they're not brand new. Like, they know what they're doing, but they see the value in coming back and taking starting at the beginning, not the basic class, but kind of starting pretty close to the beginning and just refocusing on those fundamentals and building on those. And that's when you see, honestly, real progress. Because we can go from class to class to class and continually build on where we left off on. Now, there is a gentleman in the class who is really new to shooting, barely shot. He's like a beginner level, and we kind of put him in a little bit hyper speed, right? And we jumped him to the first class where we focused on trigger press, a lot of 50-50 drill, a lot of drive out and shoot, multiple target type stuff. Nothing from the holster yet, but really let him get to understand. And he had a brand new gun to boot. So he caught on really well. And it's amazing, right? If you go out and you train and you shoot and you train with intent and focus and decide that you want to learn something and you don't have any bad habits already, you can actually progress quite quickly as long as you keep everything up and you keep moving forward. So I got some good things in store this year for Patriot Defense and the classes that we offer. And we're barely in spring. If we're even officially in spring, I'm not sure. My trees and flowers say that we are, but that's just mixed up Idaho weather. But I am getting ready. In fact, later on today, you will start seeing them. If you're on the social media page, the Facebook page, the Instagram, keep an eye on all the social medias because we're going to be throwing up classes that we have coming up. And these set of 4 classes actually stretch out all summer long. And they are going to, it's a class 1. It's a defensive defensive pistol fundamentals 1, defensive pistol fundamentals 2, and then another 3, and another one which is 4. And I'll tell you about these. So in the number 1 class, we're going to focus on the trigger. Just like I talked about, focus on that trigger press. We're going to learn trigger reset. We're going to drive and shoot. We're going to learn how to do it on multiple targets. We're going to talk about bullseye accuracy, pressing that trigger like you should, and then we're going to talk about defensive accuracy and open the target up a little bit and work on a little bit of speed. That is going to be class number 1. And each of these classes is probably going to be 300 to 400 rounds. So so go buy that ammo now if you plan on signing up. Draw and let's see. The second class is going to be where we learn how to draw from a holster. You're going to draw and shoot from a holster. You're going to learn how to do that with movement. You're going to learn how to do that on multiple targets and see how we slowly build on this. So we got them to drive and shoot in the first class. The second class, we're going to draw and shoot, which is essentially, that is just completing the draw stroke. We learned it backwards. You learn the drive and shoot, and that is the second half of the draw, or the last half of the draw. And then you're going to add the first part of the draw and have a full draw from a holster and shoot class. And we are going to rep it out in that class as far as numerous reps. We want to get those draw strokes down. We're going to get you to acquire those sights, acquire that dot. Every single time in that class, you are probably going to draw and fire that gun probably 300 times. If maybe a little less, maybe a little more. It just depends. But we need to focus on that and get that draw stroke down. And then in the number 3 class, if you choose to jump in with us on these, we're going to draw and shoot from the holster, obviously, but now we're going to add movement. We're going to add movement, which we would have added toward the end of the second class, but now we're going to add mag changes. We're going to teach you how to change your mags. You're going to do them from a static position, then you're going to do one from movement, and you're going to learn how to do that, moving left, moving right, maybe weaving in and out of barrels. You're going to learn how to shoot and move as you're walking toward a target, shoot and move as you're walking away from a target. All those things are kind of really starting to get a lot more dynamic. You're going to learn how to switch in the middle of moving. I'm going to yell left. I'm going to yell right. I'm going to put obstacles in your way, and you're going to have to work your way around them. How do I shoot while I'm moving? How do I stay accurate? And now you're wanting me to do a freaking mag change on top of it while I'm moving? You know how many times it is that I get people shooting and moving, and they have to perform a mag change, and they just stop? They stop and do a mag change, and then they start moving again. If you've never pushed yourself through it, that's going to be your reaction, is you're going to stop and do the mag change. You need to be dynamic. You need to flow. You need to keep moving. So we're going to work on that. And then number 4 class. This is where I mean, it's all fun, but this gets really fun. We are gonna learn to the difference between concealment and cover, and we were gonna work what we call the V-tack barricades. We're gonna do everything from a holster, obviously. At this point, if we haven't already, we may be up to drawing from concealment if that's the way you want to draw. And we are gonna draw the gun. Use the VTAC barriers, and we're going to learn how to shoot around that, how to use those barricades. You're going to have to go up, or you're going to have to go down, you're going to have to go up, and you're going to have to learn how to manipulate your firearm and yourself in a safe manner while drawing from that holster, engaging the target, performing the mag changes when you need to. I think this is an awesome class. I did a couple of these last year just to try them out, and people loved them. And the cool part with this class is this is a real physical class. You're on the ground, you're up, standing up, you're getting down on your knees, you're seeing what your core strength is like. You have to figure out on these VTAC barricades how it's going to work for you. You have to figure it out on the fly. You have to game this. You have to think about it. You have to make decisions. It's a thinking game. You have to do it, but you have to do it and keep yourself safe and keep the gun pointed in a safe direction. The skills you learn in this last class are pretty phenomenal, and it'll make you want to go hit the gym afterwards, by the way. It'll show you if you got any weakness in your physicality, right? Your physical aspect of your life. So I'm looking forward to those classes. I'm going to throw them out there, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I don't have the dates written down in front of me, but they are. I'll post them when I post the classes. So keep an eye out for that stuff. Now I know that this is a little slow today, or this is a little short today, but I've been kind of busy, guys. I actually have a class coming up, and I have to go in because I have to actually do a radio show tomorrow, and it's not just my regular 1-hour show. I am filling in for Bill, so my show tomorrow on 1310 AM KLX and KLX FM 96.1. I will be there from 6 in the morning till 10 in the morning. It is just me. So whether that's good or bad for the listeners, I don't know. No one complains. I don't know that I'd care if they would. If the radio station doesn't want me to do it, they won't keep offering it up. So I must not be hurting too bad. But you get me. I'll be on there from 6 to 7:30 talking about what I want to talk about, probably some gun stuff. We'll see what's happening. And then actually that's from 6 to 7. Yeah, 6 to 7. And then from 7 to 7:30, I think I got one of the Jerome County commissioners coming on. I'll chat with him for half an hour. And then at 7:30, I get the floor again, and it's all mine for the next hour and a half till 9 o'clock. And then I've got Donnie Bain coming on with Washington Gun and Pawn, and he'll be on talking finance or whatever it is he wants to talk about. It's his show that hour. I'm just there pushing buttons and staring at him. So if you guys get bored and you're local, you can check out the radio show. You can download the app and listen to it on your phone, and then that just gives you a direct line to message me. If you got my number, you want to text me and ask questions during the show, you sure can. Don't call the show, though. I'm not going to answer the phones. I do not understand how those things work, and everything I do is live, unlike the podcast, which is pre-recorded. If I screw up on the air, I've done screwed up, and everyone gets to hear it. So yay me. I need to go inside. I need to sit down and actually plan out what I'm going to talk about. I can't have a lot of dead air on live radio. So I actually have to go down there and make a plan. Need to run up to the store. I've got to get up at like 3:30 in the morning to get there and get stuff ready and get the show started at 6. So I need to go up and gather up my caffeine needs for tomorrow morning, because I will not have time to do it in the morning. Got a class today at 2 and another one this evening at 6 doing medical stuff. We are just a hop, skip, and a jump away from the time change. And then my academy classes will all be able to shoot in the evenings. I know they're all looking forward to that. They are getting tired of staring at me in the classroom. And they're like, this is not what we paid for, but it is what you paid for. But the first 2 or 3 times we meet are horrible because it's not as fun as being out on the range shooting. I totally get it. So there you go. Heed the warning from the beginning of the show. I would pay attention to those ammo prices. Watch them. If they go up, we're screwed. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.